time for the rest of your picks. Let's get started because I don't have time for this bullshit. All right. Tomorrow morning, Sunday morning football. Dolphins taking on the Chiefs. This game is in Frankfurt, Germany. Last year's Germany game was in Munich between the Seahawks and the Buccaneers. This game features two really good football teams. It's a shame that it's exclusive on NFL Network. But anyway, the Dolphins got done beating another easy opponent, and the Chiefs, meanwhile, lost two of all teams, the Denver Broncos. Their first loss against Denver since the Thursday night game in 2015. And this game should be a good one. I was going to take the Miami Dolphins, but then the Chiefs lost to the Broncos. And and this might be motivation for the Chiefs to get back in the swing of things, to get that awful taste of defeat out of their mouths. And until the Dolphins prove that they can actually beat a contender, I got no reason to take the Dolphins to win this one. So take the Chiefs to defeat the Dolphins. Vince, the only saving grace for the Dolphins is that they don't have to play at Arrowhead. And who knows? Anything can happen. Maybe losing to teams like the Bills and the Eagles might actually motivate the Dolphins to play even harder. But I don't see it happening. All right, early afternoon games. Vikings going on the road to take on the Atlanta Falcons. What a fucking blow for the Vikings. Losing Kirk Cousins for the remainder of the season. Thanks to a ruptured Achilles, and it's the usual type of injury where Kirk Cousins landed or stepped awkwardly. That's how most of these injuries happen, unfortunately. And then you got the Atlanta Falcons. They give up 4 touchdowns. Granted, 3 of them to DeAndre Hopkins. It just proves DeAndre Hopkins still has it. He doesn't have it. He's not as explosive as he used to be, but on a good but on a good day, he could still do it. But seriously though, they let a guy who puts mayonnaise in coffee and eats banana peels torch that secondary, the supposed great secondary of the Atlanta Falcons, proving that Arthur Smith OD'd on etch and sketch powder, and yes, I'm going to continue with that phase as long as Arthur Smith and Todd Bowles are still head coaches. So fuck out of here with that shit. This is a tough game for me to pick because on one hand, the Falcons are a hard team to figure out. On the other hand, the Vikings lost their quarterback. They did acquire Josh Dobbs from the Arizona Cardinals. That's great. That's special because he hasn't been playing. All seriousness, he has actually not been playing that terrible this year. He's playing like he's got something to prove. I got a flip for this one. And please, for the love of God, land on my hand. Oh my God, it landed on my hand. Heads. Alright, take the Falcons. It is what it is there. I really should take the Minnesota Vikings. But because the Vikings are still, because as it turns out, the Vikings are still a good football team. Alright, Bears going on the road to take on the Saints. Wow. So the Bears were busy during the trade deadline, bringing in Montez Sweat and of course extending Montez Sweat, which was obviously going to happen anyway. It wasn't a question of if, it was just a question of when. Well, obviously that when was just a few days after they acquired him. So the Bears still think they can win games and salvage the season. And you're going to need a little bit more than Montez Sweat. You're probably better off doing nothing. Because Montez Sweat is the only person at pass rush. Everybody else is like, what the fuck is going on? Okay, who the fuck are you? We can just double team Montez Sweat and you guys won't be taken seriously. It's like, I expect the Saints offensive line to take advantage of that shit. And the Saints better defeat the Chicago Bears. Another victory for the Bears means the more victories the Bears have, the less likely Eberflus gets fired. Though they might fire him anyway because if you really want to change the culture, you need to get rid of the entire fucking coaching staff. Especially with what's been going on lately with their now former running backs coach. What the fuck is going on in Chicago? So, anyway, yeah, take the Saints. They better win. All right, Rams going on the road to take on the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field. The Packers are fucking ass, but the Rams are also fucking ass, and but at least the excuse I can make for both of these teams is that they're trying to find themselves. And also in case for the Packers, they don't have the Packers. Their Packers offensive line is beat up to shit. But they are facing a Rams team that is sometimes inconsistent. I know I took the Packers to win last week. I get it. It was probably the wrong time to do it, but I gotta take them to win here. Because like I said, the Rams are just like the Packers, a hard team to figure out. Like a lot of NFC East teams. All right, Commanders taking on the Patriots at not FedEx Field. That's their stadium, Gillette Stadium. Last time these two teams met, they were the Washington whatevers, and that was, of course, that's funny. The last time these two teams met, the Patriots still had Tom Brady, and the now Commanders had Jay Gruden as their head coach. Of course, after the now Commanders lost to the Patriots that day, they fired Jay Gruden for. I'm pretty sure it was something beyond. It was something else besides that, but that was 4 years ago. This is 4 years later, and how the times have changed. Both teams are now most likely looking towards the future and looking towards 2024. Could the Commanders fire Ron Rivera if they lose to the Patriots? I'm not sure they do, but I'm going to take the Patriots to defeat the Commanders because the Commanders they've given up for 2023. I mean they won't be able to win jack fucking shit. And who cares about a wildcard berth? Seahawks going on the road to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Last time these two teams met was 2019. The Ravens went into Seattle and actually won. And boy, these two teams have changed over the course of the past 4 years. The Seahawks are actually playing good football with Geno Smith and the offense. Their defense could still use some work. Lamar Jackson, I'm not going to say he's looking in 2019 form, but he's still looking pretty. But he's actually playing a lot better under an actual NFL system, not that Greg Roman bullshit. And I'm going to go ahead and take the Ravens to defeat the Seahawks. It wouldn't shock me to see the Seahawks beat the Ravens, quite frankly, because like I said, they're a good football team. There's a reason why they kept Pete Carroll over Russell Wilson. I mean, it is what it is. Bucks going on the road to take on the Texans. Finally, a correction has been made with the Texans losing to, of all teams, the Carolina Panthers, which means bottom line, you don't need to take this team seriously again. Then again, you got the Buccaneers, and they lost to the Falcons at home a few weeks back as well, so that's fucking special. But in any event, take the Buccaneers to win it. When don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. I actually like what the Texans are doing. They are developing their young quarterback, and they are back. It doesn't matter if they make the playoffs or not. And that's all I've got to say about that. Cardinals going on the road to take on the Cleveland Browns. Their starting quarterback for the Cardinals is Clayton Looney Tune. What in the literal fuck is a Clayton Tune? And why does a person named Clayton Tune exist in the NFL? But here's where things will actually be close in this game. Deshaun Watson is returning, and every time he plays, he's been a massive disappointment for the Browns. Injury or not, he better be fully fucking healthy to play, because I'm taking the Browns to win. If the Browns lose, Stefanski deserves to be fired on the spot, because it's the most Browns thing to fucking do is lose to a fucking team you're not supposed to lose to. I know when the Browns lost to the Cardinals, they actually had a good football team, the Cardinals that is, but that was 2 years ago. The Browns should be able to beat the Cardinals here. And like I said, if they don't do it, you might want to put Stefanski on a very, very flaming hot seat. Next up, the late afternoon games, starting off with the Colts taking on the Panthers. There's finally getting their first win. Frank Reich facing his former team for the first time since he got fired last season. Boy, oh boy, this team. Oh boy, oh boy. I don't think I should give two flying fucks about this game. The Colts are trending a little bit on the downward spiral. So take the Panthers to defeat the Colts. Giants taking on the Las Vegas Raiders in the Robot Vacuum Stadium. Boy, oh boy. As we all know by now, Josh McDaniels has been fired by the Raiders after that Monday night debacle, wherever the fuck it was. They were lucky that it wasn't worse than this, that the score wasn't even worse, because the Lions were a little bit too cocky and started experimenting with the Raiders a little bit. Not sure why they needed to do that. And that's not even on the coaching staff, that's on the players. Players, hold on to the football and stop turning the ball over. For fuck's sake. But anyway, the Raiders are now, and the new Raiders head coach is Antonio Pierce, their 13th head coach since they traded away Gruden back in 2002. And yes, I know Gruden is one of the 13 coaches since 2002, but still, I'm counting that as well. And should Antonio Pierce not work out to the point, not do a good enough job to be the permanent head coach, the Raiders will most likely be looking for their 14th head coach since 2002. And it's safe to say that Mark Davis has not been doing a good job as an owner. Yes, he got his stadium, finally. But he took out a very big loan to do so. So, I believe the bigger issue starts at ownership because ownership listens to the advisors and all that shit. I mean, give me a break. The only reason why I'm taking the Raiders to defeat the Giants is because the Giants are really fucking bad right now. Now, though I do not like the fact that they are starting a rookie quarterback back just because he played well in the preseason. Why does the internet always want the Raiders to play stupid fucking quarterbacks like Aiden O'Connell just because they did well in the preseason? DeShone Kizer did well in the preseason. Yes, I'm comparing Aiden O'Connell to DeShone Kizer because that's what the fuck he is at this point until proven otherwise. So fuck you. Moving on quickly. Cowboys going on the road to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Nice job kicking the Rams' teeth in. And as far as the Eagles go, who did they face last week? Oh, that's right, the Commanders. There's sweeping them again, and both of those contests were close, by the way. Actually, strike that. The second one was not as close as the score would have indicated. Yes, the Commanders scored the late touchdown, but they still needed an onside kick, and onside kick recoveries are factually luck. So, like I said, not as close as the score would indicate. Disagree with that? You're retarded. End of story. And as far as this game goes, since the Cowboys are most likely being talked up way too much, take the Eagles to defeat the Cowboys. Moving on quickly, Sunday Night Football. Bills taking on the Cincinnati Bengals at Paycor Stadium. Last time these two teams met was really the postseason game where the Bills lost pretty easily to the Cincinnati Bengals at home. The last regular season matchup, we all know what happened. It wasn't the matchup was ultimately canceled thanks to what happened to Damar Hamlin. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a scary situation. I'm amazed he's alive right now. Credit to the trainers to help revive him. But wow, that game had huge playoff implications. And here we go again with the Bengals. They're once again on a roll after suffering a slow start. And I think their roll continues. Take the Bengals to defeat the Buffalo Bills. And the Monday night game, Chargers taking on the New York Jets. Congratulations, Chargers. You beat a team that you were supposed to beat for once. How special of you. But now you have to face the Jets. And I understand the Jets haven't had a great situation as far as quarterback is concerned, but their defense has been stepping up big. Especially last week against the Giants in not only the Battle of New York, but the Battle of the New York Baldies with Brian Daboll for the Giants and Robert Saleh for the Jets. And you know what? I'm going to take the Jets to defeat the Chargers. The Chargers are not all that. The Chargers are. Brandon Staley is going to do something really fucking stupid. He usually does. Justin Herbert's going to throw a clutch interception to the Jets that's going to cost them the game and whatever. And that's all I've got to say about that. So yeah, take the Jets to defeat the Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego. Go. But, as always, let's see what happens when the chaos continues. Till next time, later, fuckers.